You might have noticed something different going on in the background today, and if you know what that is, you're probably wondering, why has that guy got a Japanese King Creole LP cover stuck on his wall? Well, this is what's called taking the positives out of a negative. I bought the cover and the LP next to it in the hope that the record would be a slight upgrade on one that I already have. And unfortunately, the LP is every bit as bad as the cover there. But rather than throw them both in the garbage, I stick them on the wall, and there you go, taking the positives out of a negative. So a few videos back, I talked about the Sun Records compilation LPs, and I briefly showed this French 10-inch LP released in 1982. And if you're from the States, a 10-inch Elvis LP probably seems a bit quaint because there were none released in America during his lifetime. So by 1956, the 10-inch LP had pretty much died a death in America, but they were still being made in other countries. And in Japan, 3 of the first 4 records which contained Elvis's music, long play records, were actually 10-inch LPs. And this one here from 1982, 83, around about that time, they released 4 other 10-inch LPs at that time. And then in 1985, they gathered them all up and put them in a box and sold it as a limited edition box set. And it's that box set that I'm going to be showing you and talking about today. I just want to stay with the Good Rocking Tonight LP for a moment. This one here, which I showed in the Sun video, this is actually one I bought separately before I got hold of the box set. And it's based on a 1961 pressing of the album, which originally came out in 57, as it has these yellow labels. And when I got the box set, I noticed that there are just slight differences between the two. And this is the one which came in the box. And on the cover, you can see that the catalogue number has changed. They gave the one in the box a new catalogue number. The LPs are exactly the same record, exactly the same sound. This one here, the newer one, has the matrix numbers of this record scratched out, and then the new matrix numbers etched on the in the run out areas. But it's basically the same record. And of course they sound exactly the same. So let me show you the box. So this came out in the mid-80s, I believe, 1985. And it has a little sticker up here with a number on it, number 1334, and it says Elvis Presley 5 10-inch box set. And on the back it's got notes in French on the left and English on the right. At the top it tells you about the box set itself, and then below that it gives information about each of the 5 albums in the box, when and where they were released originally, and so on. So apart from the French album which we've just looked at, there are a couple of albums which first came out in the UK, and the first one is Loving You, and this came out in 1957. It was the first album released on RCA, first Elvis album released on RCA in the UK. There's a back cover, exactly the same design as the original UK one. Again, the photographs are not as good here, not as sharp as on the original release, but still perfectly acceptable. And if you're not familiar with this record, it has the 7 songs from the movie plus True Love. Another 10-inch LP which came out in the UK just shortly after Loving You was this one here, The Best of Elvis. And this was originally on the HMV label. It was the third and last HMV LP. And of course they can't use that HMV logo, so it's on RCA here. And this album contains 8 songs that had been, in fact no, it's got 10 songs on there. 10 songs that had been released on HMV singles in the UK. And this must surely be one of the first ever best of Elvis compilations, greatest hits Elvis compilations anywhere in the world, because it came out in late 1957. If you know of any other best of or greatest hits Elvis compilations that came out earlier than this one, please let me know. I can't think of any. And then there are 2 other LPs. These are the originals, are very, very expensive and very, very rare. So it's good to have them in reissues. And the first one is this one here, Janice and Elvis, which contains 4 songs by Janice Martin, known as the female Elvis, and of course 4 by Elvis. And once again, the back cover photographs are not as sharp as the ones on the original, but Beggars can't be choosers, eh? And the songs on this, there are actually two songs on this that I think make it worth having. And they are I'm Left, You're Right, She's Gone and You're a Heartbreaker. And I say that because they don't have any echo. The mixes are very dry. And they sound different to the versions on Elvis at Sun and Boy from Tupelo. But still, very much worth having. If you can find this album for a cheap price, it's worth having just for those two songs, I think. The version of I'm Left, You're Right, She's Gone, it starts out with the drums and the guitar. It doesn't have that little guitar twang at the beginning. And those two songs are actually also on the French EP, I believe, Good Rockin' Tonight. Yeah, I'm Left, You're Right, She's Gone is on here, and You're a Heartbreaker is on here. But the versions on this album here, they're kind of smothered with that RCA echo. All the songs on all these albums, by the way, are all in mono. And the last album is this one here. Now on the box they call it Elvis in Chile, but it's actually just called Elvis Presley. And on the back there it has the title or artist names. It's got information about two other albums anyway. It's nothing to do with Elvis. So the Elvis tracks are printed on the front of the cover in Spanish, actually, not in English. And then in brackets it tells you the genre of music. So you have to go to the record itself if you want to know the titles of the songs, if you can't speak Spanish or read Spanish. Now on Discogs, the version on there, it has white labels, but this one has black labels. I'll tell you what songs are on here since we can't see them on the cover. So on the labels they're in Spanish and then in English in brackets. So on side 1 it has Don't Be Cruel, Milk Cow Blues Boogie, Heartbreak Hotel, Bloomin' of Kentucky and My Baby Left Me. And on side 2 it has Money Honey, Love Me Tender, I Forgot to Remember to Forget, Hound Dog and Just Because. So there are quite a few songs, there are about half a dozen songs which you can find on 2 LPs. I just mentioned I'm Left, You're Right, She's Gone and You're a Heartbreaker. And Milk Cow Blues Boogie is actually on 3 of the albums. It's on Janice and Elvis, it's on Good Rockin' Tonight, and it's also on this Chilean album. I can't find the cover now. But anyway, it's the best version of the 3 is the last one, the Chilean album. So it's not quite as noisy as the other 2. Milk Cow Blues Boogie often has quite a lot of hiss when you listen to it, but the version on that particular album, the Elvis in Chile album, that sounds the best. If you were to buy the full box set, then it will set you back about $80 to $100. If you were to buy the album separately, it would not cost anywhere near that if you could find them all in the same place. As far as the music goes, I would definitely suggest trying to find a copy of this one if you can get hold of it cheaply, if only for those 2 songs which I mentioned before, I'm Left, You're Right and You're a Heartbreaker. But I think all of them are worth having just because they have good covers as well. I like the cover on this one here with the black silhouette, this big crude thick black silhouette around Elvis. It looks like a Yeti actually. And Janice and Elvis, I like this cover too, with these kind of amateurish looking drawings, but it's very 1950s looking. Same with this one too. Again, the drawing looks pretty amateurish, but it's got a definite 1950s vibe to it. Well, that's it for today. If you've got any comments, just drop them in the comment section below. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.